Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special episode from me, Alvin. It's been a long time, and I'm not going to go through that usual Let's Play thing where I dictate and tell you exactly why it is I haven't made a video in a long time. Instead, I'm just going to jump into it. So today's theme is actually really poignant with Overwatch at the moment, as they're doing Year of the Rooster. It's New Year, New Me time, you know, Chinese New Year. It's all about like change and all that sort of shit. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting back into this whole making videos thing, and hopefully you can join me in the new theme and flavor that I want to deliver them to. So let's talk a little bit about that, what it is exactly this new theme is going to be, and hopefully you guys are on board with it. And if you're not, well, you know what, I don't really mind. I'm going to do this because I enjoy making videos. So the new theme is going to be me just playing some Overwatch in the background while rambling and talking about things that I think are kind of important and are worth thinking about. And perhaps, you know, maybe some of the things that I talk about can be helpful for you guys. And today's topic is going to be something that is specifically aimed at someone I know who is currently maybe struggling a little bit with this topic, and hopefully by the time I make this video and deploy it, it can help them through that. And this medium is a little bit more of a lighthearted way of broaching that as a thing. So, what is today's theme? Today's theme is overthinking and why it's actually bad for you, and why on the surface overthinking sounds great. Like, you know, you're going to be analyzing everything and it's great, and you're going to have a greater chance of success. But I'm going to be talking about why that's actually not the case, and in fact it's actually quite self-defeating. So to lighten the mood, let's get in the game. Let's just jump into quick play. Don't really care about what, you know, sort of heroes and stuff I use, since that's really not what this is about. So with all that preamble out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the topic at hand. So first off, I want to start by saying thinking is good, overthinking is bad. Too much of anything is actually not healthy for you. And there are lots of different examples that I can pull about that. I'm just going to pull some really quick ones. Wanting to lose weight is great. Losing too much weight and becoming anorexic, not so great. You're really thirsty, you need a drink of water. That's awesome, you get some water. Too much water, you drown. You see where I'm going with this sort of thing. It's all about balance and not doing something too much to where it becomes actually detrimental to you. So, oh, hold on, I just have to turn off fucking mic. Where is it? Open mic, yeah. Yup. Don't exactly think everyone wants to be hearing about this shit in game. That's probably going to piss some people off. Alright, so this whole overthinking thing. Let's start by let's understand what overthinking actually is. It's anxiety, overinvestment in result, and perfectionism. It's where you invest so much of your time trying to, I guess, aim for a perfect outcome, because you're so invested in the result of whatever it is you're trying to do that it just has to go correctly. You have to win. You have to succeed and all of that sort of thing. And I'm going to talk about, briefly I guess, I'm going to ramble a little bit about why that's actually self-defeating. So you're going to invest a lot of time and energy thinking about what could possibly go wrong, and, you know, what could possibly go right, you know, ways to counteract things going wrong. You're going to spend a lot of time thinking about, oh, well, what if this happens? Oh, well, what if that happens? And you're going to come up with strategies about how you're going to deal with it, and, you know, come up with all of these plans and stuff. And, like, let me give you an example. What if none of the things that you thought is going to happen actually happens? You've wasted all that time and all that energy coming up with strategies and, you know, perspective, like plans and stuff that don't actually. It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. You've wasted a lot of time and your energy and emotional investment. Let's not forget that as a really important thing. While you're doing all of this thinking and planning and stressing and you know, strategizing, you're wasting. It's emotionally draining. And when you become emotionally drained, your I guess, your judgment and your, I guess, your thinking effectively becomes less effective. You have less energy and all of that sort of stuff. I'm rambling a little bit too much. So so you've invested a lot of energy and nothing happens the way that you thought it would. And oh god, I just died. Nothing happens the way you thought it was, and it just becomes a waste of time. So you know, being anxious and over-invested in a result is not as good as you might think it is. So anxiety can be useful, and it's actually an evolution. I'm going to go a little bit into the history of anxiety for a while. Bear with me. So anxiety is a natural response to threats. It's what's kept our species alive. It's what stops us from just running over cliffs because, you know, maybe we feel a little bit confident about we want to jump a thing. It's the little voice inside that says, you know what, maybe this isn't the best idea. Like that. That was not the best idea, but I didn't listen to it. Historically speaking, anxiety is a fight, flight, or freeze response, where you decide, like, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen. I gotta fight the thing, and thwart the threat. Or you flight. You want to run from it. You're like, nope. I'm backing way the fuck out of this idea. This is a bad thing. I'm not gonna make that call. I'm not gonna apply for that job because I'm just not prepared for it, and it's gonna hurt me. Or the other one is a freeze, and this one is a little bit less known than the other two. You always hear about fight or flight, but you rarely hear about freeze. Now this is where you are so anxious about a result or an action that you've taken, or you know what action you should take, that you just flat out don't do anything, and that is not a good thing, because you aren't actually progressing. You are stuck at a crossroads. You're so caught up on whether you should go left or right that you don't actually pick a direction at all, and you're stuck. Now let's look at it from the other perspective of the person who doesn't have that as a thing. They come to a crossroad and they're like, alright, I'm going to go left. And then they come to the next crossroad and they're like, alright, I'm going to go right. And, you know, maybe they pick the shortest route, maybe they don't. But, they're constantly moving. While you're stuck not coming up with which direction that you want to travel, you're not actually moving. You're stuck in the same position. So even if they are taking the longer route and doing the inefficient things, the fact that they're actually constantly moving will get them to where they want to go infinitely quicker than you will. So, you know, keep that in mind as a thing. Alright, so, talked about, ancient anxiety things about us not, eating the poisoned fruits and things, but how does that really translate into modern terms? Well, there are still threats in the modern world. Yeah, we don't have natural predators, but there are definitely still threats. Threats such as losing a job, which is gonna, impact you physically. You might not have enough money for food. You might lose your car and it just spirals out of control and all that sort of thing. So that's a threat to you physically. There is also situation that also sort of ties into situational threats, such as if I lose my job, I don't have enough money, I'm going to have nowhere to live, and your situation is going to be worsened, or perhaps maybe people will view you more poorly if you make an incorrect decision and that sort of thing. And that will have negative impacts on you and your anxiety, stress, overthinking, and all of that sort of thing spiraling downwards. The other one is emotional threats. So perhaps if you make an embarrassment of yourself, and you're not properly able to deal with it, or it just sort of negatively impacts you, and you're prone to depression or bouts of anxiety, I guess. So those are the kind of threats that translate into the modern world. So I guess anxiety is wanting the perfect storm, wanting everything to go your way because you don't believe that you're going to be able to handle the situation that happens if it doesn't go perfect. So that ties back into perfectionism. So perfectionism is not only unhealthy, but unrealistic.
Much better.
It's self-defeating, since you often expend so much energy and time and investment to no result, because it doesn't actually go the way that you think it will. So I'm gonna drop an analogy. Say your mind is a computer. Essentially, your brain is a big processor, and overthinking about thinking too much about a situation is creating extra processes while trying to run just one program. So the program is whatever problem you're facing, and the extra processes are you overthinking about all the possible things that can go wrong. So you're spending more of its total capacity to solve this particular problem by thinking about it too much. And the way to combat this is to focus less on the outcome and more on the process or the actions that you can take. Instead of thinking about, what could go wrong, think more about, what would I like to do? How would I like to act? So even if this goes wrong, how will I be happy to have tackled this? And so long as you're always doing something that you feel is right and that you want to do, it really doesn't matter what the result is, because that's just the spice of life. Like, do you really want to know all the answers about where you're going to be at any given point? Do you really want to have the alright, so let's use another analogy here. Say life is a pick your own adventure storybook. Is it more fun maybe picking the wrong things and having a little bit of a roundabout adventure on the way, maybe seeing some cool shit or experiencing something that you've never experienced before and challenging yourself? Or would you rather know every perfect page to turn to and just the story's over really quickly? Do you want to get spoilers about your favorite show and know all of what's going to happen, or do you want to experience it as it unfolds and be gifted with your response as it happens? Personally, I opt for the latter. I kind of view life as an adventure. It's less about the destination than it is about the journey. And to use yet another analogy, say you're going on a beautiful bushwalk, and you've picked out this really, really beautiful and iconic sort of scenic location, and it's going to take you around about 2 hours to get there. And the entire time that you're walking through this, beautiful bushland and stuff, you're just thinking, oh my god, I can't believe I'm not at that scenic location yet. I can't believe I'm seeing that perfect view. And all the while you're thinking about this, you're so fixated on that end point that you're not taking the time to look around you at the trees, to experience the sounds of where you are, to experience the smells, and to stop and take time and appreciate the roses along the way. And it's kind of sad. You're defeating, you're cheating yourself out of half if not more of the experience. So instead of focusing on always winning, enjoy the journey. Sort of the process and the challenges are part, if not all, of the fun of getting to where you are. And when you finally arrive at that scenic location, because the walk has been such an enjoyable experience, it's just the cherry on the top, right? It's just like the extra little icing on the cake, the reward for all the effort that you've put into getting there, right? So say you're at the gym and you have a weight goal. Instead of being like, oh my god, I'm not at my ideal weight goal yet, if you would just enjoy going to the gym and having that self that sort of self-improvement aspect, and just being well, I put one foot in front of the other and I'm a little bit closer to where I was than yesterday, and just enjoying that as a thing, then the whole process will not only be more enjoyable, but it will be easier. And since it's easier, you'll be more likely to complete those goals, right? So overthinking and overanalyzing and, you know, worrying about the process and fixating so much on, oh my god, I'm not where I want to be, is actually it's a backwards thought. It's self-defeating. You are literally making it take a little bit longer and making it a little bit harder for yourself. So do yourself a favor. And I know this is like maybe a little bit of a tough pill to swallow for someone who's not quite there yet, but hopefully, you know, something in this resonates with some of you guys. Do yourself a favor and just enjoy what comes. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be. And so long as you are putting one foot in front of the other and you are picking, you know, left or right instead of worrying about whether left or right is the right way to go and is the shortest route to where you want to be, I guarantee you things will be a little bit easier for you. It'll be a lot more enjoyable, and you will actually notice that the quality of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve will improve. And through that, you'll get a little bit more confidence and sort of motivation to continue doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. And, you know, it's a choice. It really is a choice. You can choose to sort of be upset and angry or, you know, disheartened by the fact that you haven't achieved your goal, or you can be excited about the process of continuing to move forward, and just, you know, maybe your goals will change. You know, it happens. You don't always want to continue on the one path, right? So sometimes you want to do something different, and that's fine. You know, embrace that. You aren't the same person that you were yesterday, and I truly believe that if you are the same person that you were 3 years ago, you are either perfect, which, let's face it, is unrealistic and doesn't happen, or you're doing it wrong. You're stagnating. Go out, just, like, please do yourself a favor. Take the time, the next time you have a little bit of free time, take the time to go out and do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Do something new. And experience a little bit of adversity. Not too much. Don't go and say, all right, I'm going to go and climb Mount Everest when you've never climbed before, because, you know, that's unhealthy and dangerous, and I don't condone that at all. But something. Just something that makes you a little bit anxious, it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, and just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to try that thing, and I might fail horribly, but that's okay, because I learned something. And here's a little tip for you. I have never lost a game in my life. I have failed, and I've been defeated, but I've never lost a game, and here's why. Because every single game that I play, instead of being like, oh my god, I should have done this in this situation, and oh, how could I not have seen this as the big thing? I'm like, you know what? I did that really well this time. I was able to talk about a topic while passively playing a game, and we somehow won. I'm celebrating that as a thing. I didn't play my best. I didn't play optimally. I wasn't perfect. But I learned something. I learned that wow, that was cool. I learned that even while I'm gabbing on and, you know, going on massive tangents, I can still play a game and we can still win. So I'm celebrating the little good things instead of, like, focusing on the fact that, oh my god, my ultimates were bad in that. So I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about today, and my apologies if it just seems like rambling, incoherent, babbling nonsense. It's quite difficult to multitask while playing a game and trying to talk about something important, but hopefully, amidst all the roughage and, you know, the detritus and all that sort of shit, you got something out of this. And if just one person who watches this video gets something, then that's enough for me. And if they didn't, I enjoyed making this video and I've already got something out of it. So just, that's all there is to it, man. It's all about perspective. If you enjoy the journey more than you enjoy the result, I guarantee you that it will be easier for you, and you will... I cannot even explain the contrast between those two perspectives. Please, if you haven't tried it out, please try it out. if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You learnt something, and that's still worth it. Signing off for now, this is Alvin Stalvin. I hope to make a couple more of these videos because I think they're going to be helpful and I really enjoy making them. And if you can join me next time, all the better. Have a fan-fucking-tastic day, and I will catch you guys next time.